Arsenal absolutely embarrass, humiliate, destroy, and above all, humble Manchester City. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another video. Today's video is going to be set in the aftermath of the absolutely destruction that we witnessed yesterday between Arsenal and Manchester City as Mikel Arteta's side ran absolute riot at the Emirates at the expense of Pep Guadiola's side. The Gunners won by 5-1 with 5 different goal scorers on the day to close the gap on Liverpool at the top of the table to 6 points in what was an incredible display by the Gunners from back to front, from front to back. They were incredible yesterday, and it has really left Pep Guadiola's side with a lot more food for thought in terms of how their season is going right now. We're going to be talking about Arsenal. We're going to be talking a little bit about Manchester City, although that might be a completely separate video for another day. But before we get into all of that and much more, I would like to remind you all to please like the video and also subscribe if you are new. Both things are always and forever greatly appreciated. Get involved in the comment section as well. Let me know your thoughts, your comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it, about the title race, about yesterday's game, about yesterday's battering of Manchester City. And let me know what you guys are thinking and feeling down below. Use and abuse that comment section, people, and talk to me on this very intriguing subject matter. Right. Now that that's out of the way and done with, let's get on with the video. Let's talk Arsenal. Let's talk the destruction of Manchester City yesterday and everything else in between. Look, Arsenal 5, Man City 1. Phenomenal result for Arsenal. Absolutely brilliant. The performance was exceptional from back to front, from front to back. The only real negative you can maybe say about Arsenal yesterday was the fact that they didn't manage to keep a clean sheet. But the 3 points is all that matters. And the performance was scintillating at times, especially in that second half. The first half, not so much. But in the second half, as soon as Erling Haaland equalised for Manchester City, that was City's one and only hurrah. Because as soon as that happened, Arsenal took complete control and they just absolutely picked City apart. The midfield was eventually non-existent for City. The defence had more holes in than a sieve. It was a complete masterclass destruction by Arsenal on Manchester City. And Arsenal were very much worthy of their victory. Martin Odegaard gets the ball rolling, drawing first blood. He scores after Arsenal capitalise and press City into making a mistake. Kai Havertz tees him up, and Odegaard makes no mistake in finishing the ball off. City then grow into the game in the first half because it's a bit weird because last week we had a very similar situation. Chelsea got a very early goal and then decided to stand off City, and City grew into the game, and the more and more that they grew into the game, the more and more control that they had, and by the time that Chelsea realised what was happening, it was too little too late, and City managed to win that game. It was interesting to see whether or not Arsenal would learn from Chelsea's mistake or not. And they actually did learn from it, but it only took them until the second half to do so. In the first half, City grew more and more into the game. They tried to probe for an equaliser. David Raya making a couple of very good saves to deny City from equalising. And then in the second half, of course, Erling Haaland gets his goal. Tees up, Savio tees him up. Haaland finishes off a decent City move. And then you're thinking, right, we've got a real game on here. But that lasted all of about a minute. Because within that next minute, Thomas Partey finds the back of the net. A long-range deflected strike beats Stefan Ortega and puts Arsenal back in the lead. Then comes the goal that absolutely killed the game off, in my opinion. And I said it in the live stream that I did yesterday. Miles Lewis-Skelly, a guy who was not meant to be playing this game if his red card was allowed to stand. Fortunately for Arsenal, unfortunately for him, his red card was overturned by the FA and he was allowed to play in this game. Brilliant finish, brilliant run, brilliant move by Arsenal, and Lewis-Skelly finishes fantastically. It's a parry by Ortega, but he can't get much more on it than to parry it into his own net. It's a brilliant finish by the young kid, and he celebrates by mocking City and by mocking Haaland in particular by doing his celebration. More on that in a little bit. Kai Havertz scores Arsenal's fourth. He should have scored to make it 2-0 in the first half. He missed a glorious opportunity in the opening 45 minutes, but he was not to be denied a second time. Arsenal lead a breakaway through Gabriel Martinelli, who sets him up, and Kai Havertz makes no mistake this time, finishing beyond Stefan Ortega in the City goal. And then, to add insult to injury, to put the cherry on top of that particular cake, Ethan Nwaneri, off the substitutes bench, cuts inside from the right wing on his left foot. Mo Salah-esque. No, I just had to throw that in there. Beautiful curling finesse effort into the bottom corner. Fantastically well-placed effort and a brilliant goal all around. That guy is a gem of a player and he's only going to get better and better from here. Arsenal have got a real gem on their hands there. And City are left embarrassed. City are left absolutely humbled. It's a word that has been going around and it's a word that's going to be strongly associated with this sort of, I guess some people would call it a rivalry, I guess, but this sort of battle between Arsenal and Man City over the past couple of years. Humbled. It's a word that's obviously going to be associated with this game from here on out. Erling Haaland obviously said it to Arsenal players earlier on in the season. Stay humble, eh? Look what's happened since then. Arsenal have maintained a title challenge, while City's was probably dead by the time December hit. It's been an incredible journey so far this season. And, you know, from the outside looking in of yesterday's performance as a Liverpool fan, I am a little annoyed that Arsenal didn't drop points yesterday. I am a little annoyed that the one time I backed Manchester City to actually win a game, they actually let me down. But at the same time, I'm not too interested about what Arsenal are doing. I'm more interested in what my team are doing. Because if my team hold up their end of the bargain, we don't have to worry about Arsenal. But I obviously know that those kind of things can either go south very quickly, or they can continue along the trajectory of Liverpool are going to continue their very fine form this season. We'll wait and see on Liverpool's score, but for Arsenal, yesterday was a fantastic result. It was a brilliant performance from back to front, from front to back. Everybody played their part well, and they were actually clinical in front of goal, something that we have criticised Arsenal for these past few weeks. However, I don't want to take away anything from Arsenal, but if I have to be completely honest, this absolutely destruction of Manchester City has been in the making for the past few weeks. City in the past few weeks have actually put together some decent results. And a lot of people were claiming that maybe these new signings have helped and maybe Pep's found a different sort of way of playing, that maybe they can salvage something from the second half of the season. But when you look at the performances in those results, they've been better, but they still could have been a hell of a lot worse. They still could have been a hell of a lot worse. And I know that there are some wins in there. You can look at the Ipswich game. That, in my opinion, is the only game that City had complete control over, absolutely dominated, and it wasn't likely that Ipswich were going to create some sort of upset in that game, in my personal opinion. But aside from that, you look at wins against Leicester. Even Leicester, as far as being relegation candidates go, they won that game, City, but it wasn't through a lot of luck in terms of Leicester not taking their opportunities. If Leicester had taken their opportunities, City might not have won that game. They could have been 2 or 3 goals up Leicester in the whole 90 minutes of that game. City caught life in that. Even against Chelsea last week, or even Club Brugge even. Club Brugge had a few opportunities to score more than just the one goal that they did. They could have had more. Chelsea got an opening goal last week and then decided to debate whether to stick with what they had or twist and go for more goals. If they'd have done what Arsenal did yesterday, which they had the full capabilities of doing, by the way, they could have really stepped on City's throats and not let up and actually got the 3 points in that one. But because they were caught in limbo between what to do, by the time they realised what was happening in the game, by the time that they realised they don't have control of that game anymore, it was too little too late, and City had gone on to put the game to bed. City's destruction has been coming for a very, very, very long time. It really has, in my opinion. It was only a matter of time before someone actually stuck 3, 4, 5 goals past them, and it was Arsenal to do it. Now, I'm not sitting here bitter. I'm not sitting here angry. I'm not sitting here annoyed in any way, shape, or form. Apart from the slight annoyance that I did say I wanted City to at least drop some points from Arsenal, and the one time I say that is the one time they actually don't do anything. But that's just a bit of banter. That's just a bit of that's just a bit of whatever it is. In terms of Arsenal, a fantastic result, a fantastic performance, a statement victory. No one has ever scored 5 goals against the Pep Guardiola side, let alone this Manchester City side, I don't think. I could be wrong on the Pep Guardiola thing, but definitely not Manchester City. I don't even remember the last time City actually conceded 5 goals. So, that is incredible in itself. That is an incredible statement victory in itself. And of course, in terms of the Premier League title race, it means that it's as we were going into this weekend's round of Premier League encounters. Liverpool still remains 6 points clear of Arsenal. Arsenal saw that Liverpool raised that gap to 9 points. They managed to close it back down to 6. And Liverpool have, of course, the opportunity to stretch that lead back to 9 points if they can win their game in hand against Everton, which takes place as the Merseyside derby a week on Wednesday. But for Arsenal, it's a statement win. It's a removal of a mental block, because Arsenal haven't exactly had the best of times against City over the past few years. I know that they've managed to get better and better, and I think they actually have beaten City. I think they beat City last season, I believe. I could be wrong on that again. My memory, as I get older, goes completely. But at the same time, whether they've played very well, whether they've played poorly, or whether they've played somewhere in the middle, Arsenal don't tend to usually get the win that they so desire against Pep Guardiola's Manchester City. And this one was an emphatic win at that. So there might be a bit of a removal of a mental block there. There may be a bit more encouragement. There may be a bit more of a positive vibe. There may be a bit more of a belief that this Arsenal side can maybe go on and catch Liverpool at the top of the table. But what I will say is, as incredible as the result was, as fantastic as what the statement victory is of scoring 5 goals against a rival of yours that you see as a rival for the past few years, just keep your feet on the ground. I know that there are a lot of people out there that are going full celebration police again on Arsenal because of the Miles Lewis-Skelly celebration, in which he's mocking Erling Haaland by replicating his signature celebration move. And, you know, I'm not saying you shouldn't celebrate it. I'm not saying that you shouldn't celebrate the goals of the victory, because of course you should. That's what football is all about. And if anybody is out there condemning what Arsenal did yesterday in terms of the celebrations and everything, then you're all idiots. Because otherwise we can't celebrate something unless we're holding silverware at the end of the game. Arsenal should celebrate. Arsenal should celebrate in it however they see fit. But my one word of warning is just keep your feet on the ground. It's one thing I say to every team. I think I said it about Chelsea earlier on in the season before obviously their collapse. Keep your feet firmly on the ground. Because we've seen already this season Arsenal drop points in stupid situations. In situations where the pressure's really got to them and it seemingly tells. Yesterday, yes, was a pressure game. And every game's going to be a pressure game when you are obviously the chasing team behind the team that's first. Likewise for the team that is actually in first. But at the same time, whenever Liverpool have seemingly dropped points, or whenever Liverpool could be on the verge of dropping points, sometimes this season, Arsenal have collapsed in those instances, and they've crumbled. Beating City yesterday was nothing short of brilliant. But City's defence has got more holes in than a sieve. City's midfield was virtually non-existent, and a lot of that was down to the way that Arsenal played and fair play, but a lot of teams are cutting through City like a hot knife through butter this season. Even teams that you wouldn't expect. I already talked about the way that Leicester were cutting City apart and could have had 2 or 3 goals in their game earlier on this season. A lot of teams are doing that. Arsenal just had that clinical edge about them yesterday that made them absolutely put City to the sword. My advice to Arsenal is just cool it a little bit. Stay calm. I was going to say stay humble. No, not saying that. I'm not jinxing that. Stay calm. Keep your feet on the ground. Take it game by game. Enjoy the results for what they are. But just... because I already have beef with certain Arsenal fans. There's a small percentage, particularly the ones online, that just irritate me by some of their thoughts and some of their predictions and some of their comments. Annoys me a little bit, particularly with how the season's gone in terms of certain refereeing decisions and this whole Arsenal believing that they have an agenda against them from the PGMOL and referees. I have beef with those people in particular. For the most part, certain Arsenal fans are actually more level-headed. They're actually smarter. I get it. But, and like I say, enjoy the victory. It means a lot. I've already talked about how it means a lot. But for me, I'm just saying that City destruction was coming a long time in the making. And you were the guys to do it. And fair play for that. But just stay calm. Stay calm. Because it's things like this as to why people and fans are turning against Arsenal and are just hating on Arsenal. Because one week when they lose, it's like, oh, the referees are against us, the referees are this, referees are that. They don't take accountability for their own performance. And then the next week when they destroy City, it's, oh, we're back to being the best team in the world. We're back to being the best. We're great. We're coming for Liverpool. Oh, Liverpool should be scared of us. And they're the same kind of debate that also links to Arteta in, Arteta out, depending on which side of the result you end up on. I'm just saying, stay calm. Like, that's just what I'm saying. Fantastic result, fantastic performance yesterday, 100%. But just stay calm. All I'm going to say on that. Anyway, those are just the thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it, of this guy. I want to know what you guys think. What do you make of Arsenal's performance and result yesterday? What do you make of certain people with the celebration police? What do you make of certain Arsenal fans that are going wild online right now? Let me know what you guys are thinking and feeling down below in the comment section as we move forward. Arsenal, brilliant performance, brilliant result yesterday. But let me know what you guys are thinking and feeling down below in that comment section. Otherwise, hit the like button on the way up. If you enjoyed the video, subscribe if you are new or want to see more content like this. Both things are always and forever be greatly appreciated. And as always, thank you all so much for watching and listening. I've been Fletch. This has been another Fletch Talks video. And I will see you speak to you all again soon in another video or live stream or whatever it may be. Cheers, guys. Thanks, everyone, for watching. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. And I'll speak to you again very, very soon.